Good freaking morning.
Hi.
Good morning, good morning.
Hi.
I am going to punch Vinny in the face.
Is it punch Vinny in the face day?
I had a good morning this morning because I got to go to jiu-jitsu.
I'm so proud
and
of you.
I got to
Choke people?
freaking, I didn't choke anybody today.
Fail.
I came close. I got to roll with Shane this morning.
Nice.
So, big dude. And
Can we like back up 3 steps?
It was-
I'm gonna punch Vinny in the face. Where are we going from there?
oh, I don't know. It's just,
I gotta set down my coffee.
you don't have to.
I don't want to make a mess. I gotta clean that up too. My face will hurt.
And you don't
I
want to
gotta
break your
My
coffee.
face.
I would be sad.
Yeah.
That make me sad.
We are on a limited time schedule this morning, so we got to get right into it. Go. EDC, got to have skills.
Good.
Have a good day. 14803 Manchester Road in beautiful Baldwin, Missouri.
That would actually be kind of funny.
Kind of funny.
Go live, make a short.
So Liz walks in. What? Say it.
It just reminded me because we were going to end the video, but one of our super awesome viewers sent us a screen capture of our awkward pause yesterday, and it was fantastic. Although she told me I looked like Ernest.
Ernest. Freaking hilarious. I haven't watched Ernest since.
I watched him not too long ago, and I still laughed a lot.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's forever gonna be a.
So anyway, you walked in the building this morning, and what happened?
I said, "Do you want to do a live?" We have a
I
little
have
bit of time.
nothing to talk
but I have
about.
nothing to talk about. Not even
Liar.
5 seconds.
I think it was like a
In the same sentence.
yeah, it was all a roll on thing. So I don't have anything to talk about. Did you guys see that thing with the thing, the other thing, and with the thing? What about? Do you guys use this or that or what? Let's hit the live button and let's go do this. So
here we are.
yeah, here we are. I have a meeting this morning. They have calls this morning, or Vinny has calls. Liz has things to do. So
Liz things to do.
Liz things to do. Nobody really knows what that is. I mean, we don't really know what she's doing.
Okay, I'm gonna mess it up anyway.
But you're the only one that knows. So it's a win-win.
Perfect. Okay.
EDC.
EDC.
What does that mean?
Everyday carry.
Everyday carry. Okay.
Stuff you always have with you.
So this is what most people consider EDC is. Hi, Miss Peggy.
I had to say hi to my mom.
She didn't say hi to you.
I know, but I'm saying hi anyway. Pocket
say hi to-
knives, flashlights. Look at this one right here. See that? That's nice and bright.
Does my flashlight work?
Flashlights.
Okay, cool. She sees nothing now.
Yeah. All she sees is red
She sees nothing.
orbs.
It's weird that like the little purple spots like right here on my nose, so I feel like I want to cross
Smack.
my
I
eyes.
bet you can't smack it away.
You know, there were some days that I would attempt that.
Okay, total squirrel moment. But I was dying the other day. I got stuck in a, I don't know, Facebook Shorts loop or a YouTube Shorts loop or something. And it was one of these videos with the AI things that pop up on the screen while you're looking at it. And this was ones with bugs crawling
Oh
across
my
people's faces.
gosh. Those are filters, by the way.
Filters, thank you. I was freaking, I'm too old for that crap. I was freaking dying. I was crying. I was laughing so hard. It was so...
You need to.
awesome.
I will have to show you some videos of Benny doing that. It's hilarious. Like little. There's this video of this kid like this spider crawls across his face. And he's like, ah! He starts freaking the heck out. It's so funny.
Anyway,
EDC.
that's what most people say is your EDC. Oh, now we get... Hi, Peggy.
Hi, Peggy.
Is the stuff you have in your pockets.
Yeah.
But EDC is that is definitely, I mean, that's part of it because it's
part of
stuff
it.
you're carrying. But EDC is really much, much bigger than that.
Sorry, Mom.
It feels so bad.
Sorry, Mom.
That's so funny.
EDC is much bigger than that. EDC is skills, too. It's skills with...
Which is one of the best things about education is because it's the EDC that never leaves you.
Yeah.
Nobody can take it away from you.
They can't take it away from
yeah,
you.
okay.
You
It
can let it go,
diminish,
though.
for sure,
All right?
for sure.
You can let it go by not practicing those skills.
But it's up here, and you
It
don't
is.
have to remember to put it on or anything like that.
Correct. Your mom. I'm going to
Your
get a
mom's
very
hilarious.
nasty text from your mother.
100%.
Yeah. I'm going to get a mom text there before too long. So those skills are important. And what skills do you take with you? And what led us down the path of talking about that?
So there's been, well, first off, I've been reading a book called Prepared by Mike Glover, and from Fieldcraft Survival. It's a mouthful. And I'm in the chapter of EDC, everyday carry. So it was just kind of interesting, especially coming from him. He's a survivalist, so he runs like multiple week-long courses where he puts people out in the wild and
Just
Stop.
do your thing.
anyway.
Don't worry about us. Ignore us like usual.
So anyway, it just got on the topic of the things that you carry. Now, when I came into work, we started talking about a couple of incidents that's happened recently in the St. Louis area that have brought up, you guys, killing me. So there's been a couple situations that's happened here recently. Your mom called you an ass.
That's why we can't have nice things.
And we had a student that had called and said that he witnessed one of these situations, and he was very grateful that he had some training to be confident in an abundance of skill that if he had needed to, he would have been able to overcome. And that level of confidence from knowing that you have the skills required to overcome adversity is massive.
Huge.
And, a lot of times when you look at some training things, especially when you get into the higher level classes, and you're like, when would I ever use that? That's valid. There's a lot of things that you would never use, and hopefully you never use most of the things that you would learn in the firearms defensive world. But if Murphy's Law, everything's fine until it's not, and if something does happen, just like one of these two situations we'll get into in just a second, to know that you have an abundance of skill to save a life or multiple lives, and definitely your own or your family's life, is massive. And you walk around differently. One of the reasons why jiu-jitsu is such a thing for me is like I walk differently because I'm more confident in my skills and abilities, and people look at you differently too, and they're like, okay, she walks with confidence, I'm just going to leave that alone.
What if you have the realization you don't have the skill?
That's panic.
One of our customers, he hasn't taken a class from us yet, and I'm not going to call him out on here, but he most likely would be comfortable enough to call himself out. But when him and I had a discussion about an incident that he was involved in, he knew he didn't have the skill, which made him, now he didn't freak out, he didn't freeze up or anything, but all of a sudden he realized that things got really real really quick, and he wasn't so sure his skills were up to the task. And thankfully everything worked out and everything was, nothing bad happened, but that was an eye-opening experience for him that, I have this tool. In this moment right now, I have to be a high-performance race car driver who's really good at my job, and I'm just passing the driver's exam. That's where my skill level is. And that's a scary thing.
What's the lady say in our realtor video that we show? She said she was getting attacked by somebody, and she got knocked down, and she was in this battle for her life, and she said, it was then I realized that
I don't know what to do.
I didn't know what I didn't know, or something like that. And it was like, it's profound.
It's a powerful statement.
It's like that realization of not having the abilities to make a decision, to have a course of action, to be able to overcome the sense of panic and the sense of diminished motivation. We don't want that. You need to have that will to survive, that will to persevere, and training and confidence will get you there.
When we say abundance of skill, what does that mean?
You're comfortable and confident in your abilities. That's a simple way of putting it.
So Jedi had a good way of explaining this in class that really resonated with me. Was, let's say you have a draw to first shot and 1 second, and you have a situation that's a 1.5 second problem. You have an additional half second. While that seems really small, you have an additional half second to make a better decision, or to aim better, or to take a little bit extra time to accommodate the situation better, and to have that abundance of skill to where you're not at the brink of falling apart. Wow, like that's
so.
huge.
If you, to use your example there, if you have a problem, and we're just going to use a number, right? 3 seconds. You have a problem that's going to affect you within 3 seconds, and it's justifiable for you to go to your gun, and you have a 3 second draw. Is that okay? Probably not. If you have a 1 second draw, let's say you have just for easy numbers, you have a 1 second draw, you have 2 seconds, really maybe a second and a half, to figure out what you have to do, which is a long time. Instead of you trying to solve the problem of getting the gun out of the holster and getting it presented out to the target, you've already got that done. Now you have time to actually address the problem. You're not just trying to address the skill that you're fumbling.
Yeah.
Or as I like to tell people in class, skills can buy you time. Time can buy you options.
Yeah. Don Fitz. Yo.
Oh, hello, Don.
And good morning, Luke.
Sorry, Luke, missed you.
There was a couple situations that's happened here recently in the St. Louis area, and surely you've heard about it on the news, but there was a lady that got stabbed in the neck by her partner, her domestic partner, and luckily there was somebody on site nearby who happened to actually be a Navy medic and saved her life. She got stabbed in the neck, and she was bleeding quite badly, and the lady and her husband, it was kind of funny the way that she told the story. She's like, my husband got up and was like looking around for the bad guy, and I immediately went to her and started giving aid, and she said I just put pressure on her neck and waited for the police and the paramedics to get there, and that lady is so lucky, and I'm so glad that she was there, but that's all her skill, and that was to know that you can.
That was nothing that she had in her pockets that saved that lady's life.
Skill.
Now, could extra medical supplies been beneficial there?
Yes.
Certainly.
Sure.
But just having the skill, having all the stuff and no skill doesn't necessarily do you any good. Having all the skill and no stuff does still work, right? You may not be able to operate at the highest capacity, but you'll still have you understand the problem. It's just like if you have a problem with your gun, but you don't have all the tools to necessarily take everything apart and fix it right then, if you understand how that tool works, you can most likely fix it with the most basic of things. You don't have to take everything apart and look at each individual part to figure out if something's wrong. Because you understand the situation, you can just address what needs to be addressed. And that's what happened here with the medical emergency is she didn't have any stuff with her, but she knew that, hey, I have to do this. I need to put pressure on this wound and help this lady get to the next level of care, which is what we talk about a lot in our medical stuff. Right? You're not going to fix anybody up, stop the bleeding, sew them up, put them in a cast, whatever you need to do, and send them home and tell them, hey, take 3 of these and call me next week. You're just getting them to survive to that next level of care can get to them and actually fix them.
And one of the things, Ben, you said in our Lady Sentinel Trauma Building an IFAC class was that knowing what trauma looks like is huge. To be able to articulate it to dispatch or whatever so they know what they're getting into and to how to prioritize you. But then the other side of that is to not panic when you see it. And the same thing with guns. Like I taught defensive handgun 1 yesterday, and that challenge of being in an uncomfortable environment where you're challenging yourself is hard, but the overcoming that and coming out with better knowledge on the other side is totally worth it. So come into a trauma class, see the blood, and see the PowerPoint and everything, and like get exposure to that. Ugh. Some people really can't stand looking at blood or dealing with trauma, and I challenge you to do it anyway.
Yeah, and that's a good thing to know too, right? Let's just take the incident we were talking about with the husband and wife. If the husband knows, like, hey, A, I don't have the skill that my wife does, I'm going to let her handle this. B, not only do I not have the skill, but I'm going to throw up if I see that much blood again. So I'm just going to look this way and make sure that her boyfriend or the bad guy, he didn't know it was a boyfriend at the time, but the bad guy doesn't come back. And I'm just going to let her work and make sure she has the space to do what she needs.
Sure.
That is an important thing to understand about yourself. That goes back to ego, like we talk about all the time. Don't think you have to be the tough guy to stand there and deal with this. Like, I'm supposed to be the one to fix it. If you know you can't do a thing, don't get in the way.
Yeah, help out in a different way. Go grab towels or supplies or help or call 911 or something, or watch around. So the other situation that happened recently, and I'm sure you've heard about this one, but there was an office building where a gentleman walked in with a puppy and was kind of aimlessly walking around. He was not supposed to be there. He got in. I don't know why he was there. Nobody knew why he was there. Obviously, he was an anomaly, and suddenly he took out a knife and started stabbing his puppy. He stabbed the dog at least once. The dog lived, by the way, and is ready for cuddles, what they said on the news. But I know, it's like, thank you for saying that, because everybody was worried about the dog. So he stabbed his dog, and then when police got there and they started to try to stop him, because obviously, and this is such a mental thing too, I want to talk about, don't let me forget, but when the police tried to stop him, obviously he is showing signs of being violent and hurting an animal or other people or himself, and he's absolutely a deadly threat at that point. Officers tried to stop him. He wouldn't stop. He went to go sit down on a stairs somewhere, and he started stabbing himself in the neck. To watch something like that's incredible. I can't even imagine. But there was a gentleman on the scene that had been here to several of our training classes, and he had called and left a message to say that he was grateful he didn't have to use any amount of force in that moment, but he felt substantially better off because of his training and knowing that in that moment he could have solved a problem if he needed to, and saved his life and other people's life if he had to. Luckily, he didn't have to, but he was able to visualize what was going on in that moment and how he could apply himself to the situation to overcome if needed. And that sense of that's pretty big, to understand what you encountered and how you could have overcame that, and to be thankful for the training that you had to be confident in that. So anything about that before I go into the psychological part?
No, not necessarily. Just that we say it all the time. Vin and I were having a discussion this morning about a newer student who we were told to talk to because he wants to do all this high-level training. Yep. We haven't talked to him yet. There's a very high likelihood he's not ready for that, right? Like, people think, I'm super well prepared, I want to take the next step forward, and you're still learning how to drive the car, but you're wanting to get into the
racing.
F1 racing next week. You're not quite there yet. To take those skills seriously is different than just ripping a trigger and saying you know what you're doing. There's a difference between, sounds kind of cliche to say, but live it versus just do it.
Absolutely.
So that was cool.
So I wanted to talk about, the officer had to use lethal force against this individual, and I can't imagine how he is dealing with that right now. But if you can imagine someone that is holding a lethal tool but applying that force to themselves, as an officer, the requirement to stop someone from doing that, to stop him from hurting other people, because he's obviously showing the intent to be violent, and he was only doing it to himself. They tried to tase him and it didn't work, but then he had to apply the same level of force that individual was applying to himself. How do you look at a situation like that with the desire to save that individual but have to use lethal force against that individual? Like, what?
Yeah.
And could you imagine, what if you encountered that? You have to think about these things because you would have to make that decision in the moment. I will tell you, as a mom or as a parent, there's a decision that in my life that, this goes back to our decision-making thing the other day, but the mental preparation is so much a part of your EDC, everything that you do, especially when it comes to the defensive world. What if someone was taking your kid and you needed to use lethal force? are you willing to use lethal force and put your kid in danger, or let your kid go and them go somewhere else?
And put your kid in danger.
And who knows what happens?
Yeah. Are you confident in your skills to be able to handle that task?
Are you okay with making the decision to use the force even though it could endanger your kid? Because that would be a better way for them rather than elsewhere? Like,
So I tell a similar story, not with kids, which I think is appropriate for what we do a lot. But I tell a story when I'm talking to either private security or law enforcement about their skills and needing to have an abundance of skill, about 2 cops that were involved with a guy with a knife. The guy with the knife they're trying to get him to stop. He's not stopping. He keeps pushing forward on him. The cops keep backing up, keeping space, giving him commands. And finally, at one point, the cops essentially got their back against the wall. They could not go backwards anymore. Bad guy stops, and he's there, and he's kind of yelling at both of them. And one of the cops makes a decision to try to put his gun away and go to his taser. And when he does that, he looks down, and the bad guy charges him. Yep. And you can see his indecision in the moment. Like, he's trying to decide, do I have time to get my gun up, or should I try to smash it into my holster? Well, he tried to get it in the holster. Bad guy got his back, got around behind him, and they start struggling on the gun. This guy's partner stepped up in front of him and shot the bad guy right over his shoulder.
No, I remember that
Right?
video.
How many people do you trust to take that? You should be that person. Your skills should be there, right? It shouldn't be, if I'm in that situation and my partner runs around in front of me, I'm now more worried about my partner shooting me than I am the bad guy shooting me. That should not be the case.
Yep.
You should have the skill. You are. We're going down a little bit of a rabbit hole here, but as a professional,
that never happens.
Yeah, as a professional, you should have that skill. And trust me, I understand. As a cop, you got to have a lot of skills, right?
Oh,
you
yeah.
got to have great
communication.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the word. That was bad communication. You have to be good at a lot of things, and I understand that. A lot of people overlook the gun. Well, the gun's a tool. It'll just work when I need it. That's not true.
Yep.
Not true. There's a whole bunch of comments there that I can't read. So.
There's a lot
They're
in
talking
there.
about Vinny's face and like
I should be an album,
it's pretty
album cover.
funny.
I'm not-
We already have an album cover.
God.
We're about to have another one, but we're gonna have to pull one out of this stream. So
You
we
wonder
can...
why my face is serious. I'm trying not to die laughing while we're having a
Hold
serious
on,
conversation.
let's like make our album cover face. Vinny, you got to get halfway in. Okay. We'll screenshot that later. But you know, obviously this is a serious topic, but guys, don't sweat it.
Yep.
Come in and chat with us
happens.
and have fun. You know, if you get so down in the dumps about all this stuff and you can't look at it in a way that it's hard to talk about this stuff. And making light of it is not always a bad thing. It helps you be okay with it a little bit, and it doesn't devalue people's lives or anything being lost. But it's hard to talk about this stuff, so it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Oh, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. Boss man's upset. Oh wait, I forgot. It's okay.
He's rubbing his face like he's gonna fight.
That was a one finger.
Oh, got it.
Weird way to scratch your face.
Anyway, continuing on, Elizabeth.
Yes.
Failed.
God.
It's gone.
Yeah, gone.
Liz forgot what she was going to talk about.
God.
Oh, I don't remember where I was.
Just rewind it.
It's live.
And see, oh. Is it now?
Don't we have TiVo?
Or is it then now?
Well, that.
TiVo.
There's a
you
delay.
even know what TiVo is.
Yes, I know what TiVo is. I'm not that
Liar.
I'm not that young. Yes, I have TiVo. You can ask Peggy. I remember TiVo. We had a TiVo.
So, anyway, build your EDC with good mental preparation and get tools.
Yeah,
So
good tools. We're not discounting the tools, but that's what a lot of people think EDC is just what you put in your pockets or carry in your bag or leave in your car or whatever. That is part of your EDC, but your mental preparation, your skill sets, that is all a huge part of that EDC.
When I ask people when it comes to different tools is look at your tools that you carry, be honest with yourself. Do you know how to use it? Are you confident in your abilities to use that tool? And being honest with yourself and asking that question. When you look at it, yeah, you bought it, you have it, that's awesome. But are you confident in your abilities to use it? And if you're not, find somebody who is and seek training.
I don't know what the heck is going on. Oh, Spaceballs. Yes, Mike, you missed it. We talked about Spaceballs yesterday, too.
We did.
What were you getting all? What do you wanted to say?
Last week, I was downstairs and I was downstairs shooting. I came outside and there was a customer standing there talking to whoever's behind the counter. I don't remember who's behind the range counter downstairs. And he's like, yeah, Phil carries a 365. And so, oh yeah, I do. And so we start talking about it. And he's like, I'm going back and forth between this. And it's funny, he's going back and forth between that and the shadow systems. I'm like, well, I carry both. And he's like, but it's got to fit in this thing. And he had this outside the waistband pouch thing.
Okay, yeah.
The Sneaky Pete.
Yes, that's what they're called.
Right?
I don't know what it's called. It's
Yeah.
got a little magnetic
Yeah,
flap.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
Sneaky Pete.
And
I think I know the student you're talking about too.
And I said, okay, well, why do you carry there? Well, because I can't carry the way you carry. Yes, you can. You absolutely can. And I just don't like the idea of the holster in my pants, the gun in my pants, all the normal stuff. Okay, let's get over that. So I asked him. I said, that's okay as long as you have the skills to engage a target and in a timely manner. I said, what's your draw to first shot time? I'd say 7 yards at my silhouette. He's like, well, I have no idea. So you don't think that's important? He's like, well, I'm probably not the fastest. And he said, if I get my first shot off, I'm okay, but it's usually then my second shot or third shot is where I start struggling. I'm like, okay, well, then you can fix your grip and you can fix that. Well, no, but I'm shooting a little gun. Okay, well, maybe you should fix that. All right. I said, now, if you're looking at the XL, it is a big little gun, but still a little gun. Yeah. We went down the whole rabbit hole. But he was really okay with the fact that his skills weren't up to par. But it definitely got him thinking about what skills meant versus just having a tool on his hip to solve a problem. And you're probably not capable of solving the problem with it. It's one thing to have the tool. It's a totally another thing to know how to use it. And we see that false insecurity a lot, like the student we were talking about this morning, that, hey, I shoot guns, so I know
I must be good.
I now want to start doing backflips and barrel rolls and be just as good as Charlie's Angels and shoot my gun. And
It don't work that way.
I haven't even seen a guy yet. Like, I have no idea what his skills are, but most likely we're going to have to show him how to hold the gun.
Yep.
Very high likelihood.
Willing to
but
bet.
he thinks that he has a high skill level until you give them parameters like, hey, this is what skills should be. Are you up to that? No, I'm not. Well, then let's get you there.
It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. When you get into something and you have a decent amount of knowledge where you feel somewhat proficient, you kind of close off your mind. Like, okay, I've met a standard and I'm good. And you feel like you are now an expert. And it's a normal human thing to do. But what you need to think about is that, okay, I've reached here. What else can I get into? Because it's exponential.
Oh, yes.
Everything is exponential. Like, don't ever stop. Never. No. There's always something that you could look into. Well, this holster only allows me to carry a small gun. Instead of stating the problem, look for the solution. We started doing this with my son. He's like, Dad, I'm cold. My husband always says, nice to meet you, Cold, I'm Dad. And so it turned into, I know, the most famous dad joke ever. But it turned into, he would always just state the problem. There's a problem. I'm cold, I'm hungry, I need this, I need that. Okay, instead of stating the problem, what's the solution to the problem? And start looking for the solution. There's always a solution. There's always a way to overcome, or there's always a way to manipulate the sacrifices to make it work better for your lifestyle. I understand everything in the gun world, everything is a sacrifice. It's give and take. You just need to be educated on, what did I say? I missed it.
No, I don't know. It
wasn't even anything that funny, but it was just the way that it came out.
I had a thought go through my head of, my problem is I'm hungry. The solution is go make me a sandwich. Right? That's what just went through my head. And I,
Now,
I'm not going to go make a sandwich, but you need to go make me a sandwich.
If my son came up to me and said, "Mom, I'm hungry. Will you make me a sandwich, please?" Perfect. That's fine. Anyway,
Go make it yourself, kid.
that's right. I'll say that too.
Shit, I'm a trash.
That's
so
right, Don Fitz. Thank
one
you.
last thing, EDC tools.
Yes, we got it
And
fast.
the reason why you should carry tools, we are humans and we're at the top of the food chain. We didn't get there because we can run really fast or fly or have really sharp
fly?
teeth. I mean, I said teeth. Teeth.
Teeth.
Use my teeth
Your
to
teeth
say
got in
it.
the way?
My teeth is making hard.
Because we use tools. That is a very big reason why we are as successful as we are as a
Species.
species. Thank you.
Spell species.
Nope.
So use tools, value them, and especially when it comes to saving your own life, if you say it. I'm trying to help you out. What's your favorite line, Vinny?
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Why have a fair fight? They're dumb.
Yeah.
Or as I think
You wanna win
I've
the fight.
seen multiple times throughout the comments, which I highly agree with. If you have tools, you think you have the skills. Test those skills. Come out to our competitions.
Yeah.
It's an easy way to test your skills, and I can promise you, coming from somebody who has been there, has done that, you get humbled pretty quick.
Yeah. Go do it. Do one of the drills. We posted 2 drills, a 5x5x5 drill, just draw the first shot stuff on our Facebook page over the last couple of days. Go try them, right? Try them. I get it. You may
Or
not
the
have a
draw from
timer,
concealment.
right? Yeah. The draw from concealment to dry draws at home. Use that shot timer. We do need to do that with a slower time just to get people to start building that up. But there's all sorts of things you can do. Also, we got to go. Sorry.
We gotta go.
We got lots of stuff to do, and we have
This
only
time.
a couple of minutes to get them ready. So, if you need something or you want to consider or continue this conversation, come and hang out with us. Right? Hop in a class. Come catch us on the floor sometime. Everybody in here likes to talk about this kind of stuff.
We have couches
We have couches. You
and
can lay down
coffee
if you want.
and water
We also have a Vinny.
and a vending machine. Matters.
I'll get into
We
that.
got good stuff in our vending machine.
If you need something, come see us, 14803 Manchester Road in beautiful Baldwin, Missouri. 10 to 8 Monday through Friday, Saturday 9 to 6, Sunday 10 to 6. I almost forgot the hours for a second. You guys are freaking awesome. Good luck on
Nick.
Friday. Casting couches.
Nick.
Wrong show.
Bye, Mom.
Have a great day.
Sorry, Mom.
Awkward
We'll
pause.
just leave you with that.
We
Now
need our-
it is awkward.
Our album cover. Ready?